Next thing, let's talk about task two, lead a team. To lead the team in the PMP content outline breaks down like this. It sets a clear vision and mission, support diversity and inclusion, value servant leadership, determine the appropriate leadership style, inspire, motivate, influence team members and stakeholder, analyze team members and stakeholder influence, and distinguish various options to lead various team members and stakeholders. Here we go. Let's start unpacking this. So, set a clear vision and mission. What does that look like? Set a clear vision meaning establish a compelling vision that really aligns with the team as well as project goals, and it inspires a commitment. That first one didn't say it inspires a interest. No, it inspires a commitment. That just translates meaning that we're all in. We are a team that is committing to moving forward. Then we want to define the mission, and defining the mission is basically articulating why are we doing this? What is the project purpose, and how does it contribute to the entire organizational strategy. And the last and final one, aligning team with objectives. What you want to understand here is all team members understand that again, this is this big word, this challenging word, committed to the project vision as well as the mission. Let's move on to support diversity and inclusion. You want to embrace diverse behavior types. And by doing that, you recognize the value of working with different personalities and working styles. You don't want to get caught up in the whole, you want everybody to be like you, because that doesn't bring a good diverse project. Because when you have worked with diverse people, they're able to see different things that you're unable to see. Number two, encourage diverse thought process. That's what I was building off the first point. Foster an environment where team members feel comfortable sharing unique perspectives as well as ideals. And then most of all, promote inclusive practices. That just basically meaning implementing a strategy that will make team members feel value and have an equal opportunity to contribute. Let's look at my favorite, value servant leadership. The team comes first. I don't know how the team comes first. And reason why I get so caught up in that is because sometimes project managers think, oh, it's about me. No, project manager, it's about the team. Without the team, you wouldn't even be there. So I'm sorry, I just went on a rant, but focus on supporting and empower team members to achieve their best work. Fostering growth. That just basically means providing opportunities for team members to develop their skills so they can advance their careers. Encourage collaboration. That is my favorite thing there of collaborating. It's better to go together as a team and collaborating and working together, meaning you got my back, I got your back. So how we do that is create an environment that really promotes teamwork and shared decision making. I'm sorry to stretch that out, but it's the truth, family. If you work in this thing that I love, that I hope you fall in love with, called project management, you'll notice how there is not a shared decision making. So when you're going after your PMP, you want to keep this in mind that you need that if you want to be in an environment that is collaborative as what and which promotes teamwork and shared decision making. The next item is lead by example. You want to be able to discriminate, or I should say, demonstrate ethical behaviors and commitment to the project and organizational values. Next task, determining appropriate leadership styles. Like I said, I'm only covering four here. There's a plethora of different leadership styles. So let's look at the first one, directive style. That's basically suitable for requiring a clear guidance and quick decision making. Often, usually, you do use this with team members that do not have a lot of experience. So you're just very direct, you're straight to the point. Collaborative style. Now, this is where you work with people that have a diverse expertise, and it's normally on complex projects. So most of the time when you're working on complex projects and you have a team that is full of experts, you want to ensure that you're encouraging teams input and a shared problem solving. Situational leadership. This is another one of my favorites. You basically adapt your leadership based on the maturity of the team and where you're at actually in the project and what type of problems and or challenges that you encounter. And then the last and final one, democratic style, or what they call it, participative leadership. This basically means is that you encourage collaborative and a shared decision making. All right, still staying with task number two. I told you we're going to break each one of these down. Tell me where you've seen this at before, family. I'll be encouraged to know, but we're unpacking it today for you. Inspire, motivate, and influence team members and stakeholders. You want to develop team contracts. This basically means create and implement team contracts to establish clear expectations and foster commitment. There's that word. If you're noticing a theme here, family, you keep seeing the word commitment. You don't see interest. It doesn't say create and implement team contracts to establish clear expectation and foster interest. It says commitment. So keep that in mind as you're studying for, if you're already studying for the PMP exam, or like I said, thinking about going after the PMP exam. Number two, implement social contracts. Really, it builds team cohesiveness. It really defines a shared value and behavior. That means, hey, if we say we're going to be at a meeting on time or within 5 minutes of the meeting start, or we start the meeting within 5 minutes, that is a social contract. Design rewards system. That means develop and implement a reward system so you can recognize high performance and teamwork. And the last and final thing, provide regular feedback. You want to be able to offer constructive feedback and recognition to your team members to keep them motivated and aligned within in project goals, especially when it's a long project. It's sometimes it can get really dull and boring. So you want to be able to provide that constructive feedback and also at the same time recognize. Let's unpack analyzing team members and stakeholder influence. You want to be able to identify key influencers. You do that by recognizing team members and stakeholders with significant impact on project outcomes. Next thing, assess influence levels. You want to be able to evaluate the degree of influence each individual holds, at the same time, how it impacts, or I should say, affects project dynamics. Map influence networks. Create a visual representation. This means influence and relationships within the whole entire project ecosystem. And the last and final thing here, family, is leverage positive influence. Develop these strategies to harness a positive influence to support the project objectives. Now, let's look at distinguish various options to lead various team members and stakeholders. You want to tailor your communication approach, adapt communication styles that's suited for the teams. An example of that, family, is if you have a team member that really likes to get communication through Teams or Slack, and because they rarely check their emails or they're playing catch up with emails, that's tailoring your communication. Customize motivation strategies. You want to find different motivation techniques based on individual goals and values. One of the things that I do with this area is you find out what motivates people. This is why I'm going to slide down to build individual relationships. You want to build, when you build individual relationships with your project team and your stakeholders, this gives you an opportunity to see what motivates that particular individual. Now, moving back over, adjust leadership styles. Again, fixed leadership approach to effectively manage and influence various personalities and roles. And trust me, family, you will have some personalities. Let's move on to task number three, support team performance. We're going to unpack today for you, appraise team member performance against key performance indicators, AKA KPIs, support and recognize team member growth and development, determine appropriate feedback approach, and verify performance improvement. Let's do it. First of all, appraising team members' performance against key performance indicators. When you establish key performance indicators, this is basically you want to define clear, measurable KPIs aligned with the actual project objectives and individual roles. Next item is conduct regular assessments. This means doing periodic evaluations. Let me park here parenthetically. What I mean by that is that when it says periodically, this does not mean waiting to the end of the year to say, here's your evaluation. This does no good to you or the actual project team member or stakeholder. So you want to make sure you perform periodic evaluation of team members' performance against what has been established as your KPIs. Again, key performance indicators. Next thing, provide constructive feedback. This means offering specific, actionable feedback to help team members improve as well as grow. Let's go on to the next item. Recognize and reward achievement. Again, you want to acknowledge, celebrate your team, especially when they meet and definitely when they exceed the performance expectations. If you guys can see me right now, family, I'm just having a ball over here, but I digress. Let's move on to the next thing. Support and recognize team member growth and development. That means identifying development opportunities. Hey, where's the opportunity to recognize area where we can enhance the project team member's skill as well as knowledge in the project context? Create individual development plan.